I've got a Fortune article here in front of me. Headline says, Gen Z hits surprising adult milestone. What is the milestone? Working in the office full time. Fascinating. Almost half of the class of 2023 who have already accepted a post-grad job say that their job is fully on site. That is pretty fascinating. 2023 college grads who have accepted a job, when they graduate, 48% of them are working fully on site. That's no remote, no hybrid. Now, if you just lay that out there based on what you see a lot on social media, you would think, boy, they can't be happy about that. Oh, man, that's got to have them pretty upset. On the contrary. This was a normal expectation and reality for previous generations. But it's very new for Gen Z, who spent some of their time in college and or early working lives behind the screen in their homes or in a coffee shop. But this is interesting. Only 4% of Gen Z actually want to work fully remote. Let me tell you where that 4% is. If I go on Instagram or TikTok right now and say something about remote work and this piece of data, the 4% are all on social media going, that's not true, you old man. Well, the data doesn't lie, snowflake. The 4% of you are very vocal. And good for you. A third of students that LaSalle surveyed, the LaSalle Network, this is a staffing and recruiting firm, a third of those students that they surveyed said they're continuing to job search despite the fact that they've already secured a job. But this is less about remote and hybrid. This is just a generation that their whole stinking life they've had options. Their whole life. You know, when I was a kid, old man story alert. When I was a kid, you had three types of ice cream. You had vanilla, you had chocolate, and if you were lucky, for those who cared, I don't like it, but you had strawberry. All right, we live in a world now where these kids grew up with not just three options of ice cream, multiple different shops, all within 2 or 3 miles. Oh, by the way, we have gelato. We have frozen custard. We have frozen yogurt. We got 73 toppings on the buffet over here. Could you imagine? I would have loved to have walked in with my mom and dad to one of those ice cream shops and go, yeah, I want some vanilla ice cream, and then I want 73 toppings. I want the gummy worms. I want sprinkles. I want chocolate chips. Oh, let's throw some hot fudge on there for good measure. So I'm not knocking this younger generation, but they have been conditioned to have options. So you want to know why they would secure a job and then look for something better? Because that's all they know. It's not a bad thing. It's just reality. Now, this generation is open to hybrid. So they're not anti-remote. They just only want it to be for a certain amount of time. They're craving in office, but they also want the flexibility of remote. And that's why the hybrid arrangement is what a lot of these Gen Zers are looking for. But make no mistake, in-person work beats remote. But they want flexibility to work remote some of the time. So the question is, why does Gen Z, who was raised on screens, why does that generation, why does it crave in-person remote work? Why does this generation crave in-person work? Because of productivity and because of coaching. They do think they can be more productive in the office than they can remote because they understand their own limitations and distractions. And then what's most encouraging about this generation, and I think they're leading the way for all of us, and I hope that we follow their model. They are craving the coaching mentor relationship of older workers or their leader. They want to be mentored. They want to be guided. Now, let's also break this generation down, and I don't say this from a negative standpoint. I'm just speaking truth. This generation has also been guided, dare I say, coddled more. And give you another example from just my generation. I'm Gen X. It was very normal when I was a kid, be 10, 11, 12 years of age. It was very normal for my mom and dad on a summer day for me to go into my mom and dad and go, hey, I'm riding my bike, which would have amounted to a mile or 2 miles, sometimes as many as 3 miles. I'm riding my bike over to my buddy's house. I'll be back at dinner. And my mom and dad to not even think twice and go, all right, be careful. And I was gone. When I got back, if I got back within a reasonable time, didn't have to be early, but if I got back close to dinner time, my mom and dad weren't standing on the porch wringing their hands going, where were you? We were about to call the police. All that to say, yes, the world has changed, but has it? Meaning, is it more evil now than it was? I don't know if I'm going to make that case. I just think we're more scared than we used to be. I don't think the world's any less evil, more evil. I think it's just as evil. There were bad people back in the 80s and 90s. But we weren't so daggum scared. Well, this generation, Gen Z, they've been monitored from day one. Monitored in the crib. Monitored all the time. Got smartphones that are tracking devices. I do it. My parents didn't have the ability to track me when I was a teenager. So they've been conditioned to be guided, to be cared for, to be monitored, to be corrected, to be encouraged. My goodness, is the same generation where that's all they've ever known is a trophy and a party for just simply playing the sport. You don't even have to win to get an end of the season party where everybody gets a trophy. Hey, you put on your uniform this year. Here's a trophy. And here's the deal. So when that's been conditioned into you and you don't have it and you just throw them into the wild, they're going to freak out. Now, some won't. Some can always survive no matter what the generation. But we've conditioned these young people to need all this guidance and monitoring, so they crave it. Is it any wonder that they're going, I want to be in the office some because I feel like I can be more productive if someone's watching me. I feel like I need someone to guide me and coach me. Now, that's the reason why they crave the coaching and the mentoring. But can we be honest? I don't care the why. All that matters is that they want it, because coaching and leadership and mentoring is good for all of us. We all need it. So, what does this mean for the future of work? It means that hybrid will probably be the dominant model. But it also means that leaders who give people a compelling reason to come to work are going to win. They're going to show up. If you separate yourself and you give them a healthy environment, an energetic and positive environment, you show them how their job connects to something that's greater than them, even greater than the company mission, these young people are going to flock to this. And they will embrace collaboration and innovation and imagination, because that's the human spirit. All you got to do is give it an environment where it can grow.